In my last two videos, I covered a couple of my favorite features and their valuable benefit to an efficient CounterACT infrastructure. So, continuing on with that theme, I want to show you another series of features that not only enhance your security posture drastically, but will also speak large volumes of return on investment to upper management. One of the best add-ons that ForeScout has released is their Security Policy Templates plugin. I'd like to actually pause for a moment and speak directly to ForeScout here. For this plugin, the name Security Policy Templates doesn't actually speak to what it really provides, and it's possible this plugin is overlooked because of its name. This plugin is highly valuable and should have a name that reflects what it truly provides. I'd like to propose a new name, Vulnerability Hunting and Protection, VHP for short. So what is the Security Policy Templates plugin? Well, we live in a world where it seems like the vulnerabilities being found throughout the industry are getting more serious and have a higher impact to organizations. Whether it be ransomware, remote code execution, denial of service, or hardware chipset vulnerabilities, knowing exactly where these vulnerabilities live in your network is more important than ever. What's even more important than knowing where they live is how you can remediate or protect against them. The Security Policy Template plugin is a series of policies published by ForeScout that will help hunt and protect against some of the most notorious vulnerabilities out there right now. I'm going to show you some of them. But first, like any plugin, you'll need to download it from your ActiveCare portal. You can find it under Base Plugins at the bottom next to Security Policies Template. Simply click on the download button to begin the download. Installing plugins is pretty simple. You just install the FPI in your plugins section of CounterACT console. Once the Security Policy Template plugin is installed, creating policies to look for vulnerabilities is very simple. From the CounterACT console, click on the Policy tab and then Add. In the Template section, scroll to the bottom and expand Vulnerability and Response. Here you will see numerous policies that ForeScout has provided for vulnerability searching. Simply click on the one you want to install, click Next, and walk your way through the wizard. Here you can see I have numerous vulnerability and response policies configured. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm going to show you 4 of them, which have provided the most value to me recently. First one is the Bad Rabbit Ransomware Detection and Prevention Policy. This policy helps you detect and mitigate bad rabbit ransomware infections, a variant of Petya. Endpoints not yet infected are vaccinated by creating a series of files that prevents infection in the first place. From the moment I enabled this policy, I was able to vaccinate over 1,000 hosts in a matter of minutes. Now, as new systems join the network that are vulnerable, they are automatically vaccinated without any user intervention. As you can see, I've got 0 vulnerable systems. Next, the AMD flaw policy helps locate AMD systems with vulnerable processors. A number of vulnerabilities have been discovered in the AMD Ryzen and EPYC processor lines that include manufacturer backdoors in some chipsets and could allow attackers to gain direct access to the CPU. As a result, an attacker could inject persistent malware in the CPU as well as gain access to and steal network credentials. At the time of this video, AMD has not released a fix, but knowing which systems are vulnerable is the first step once they do. As you can see, I've got one system that is vulnerable, and I'll be keeping a close eye on it until AMD releases a fix. The Mac OS High Sierra Admin Bypass Policy helps detect Macintosh systems vulnerable to the Mac OS High Sierra Admin Bypass vulnerability. At the time of this video, though, Apple has patched and released updates that solve this issue. Back when High Sierra was released and a patch did not exist, this policy was valuable in locating vulnerable systems. Finally, the Cisco iOS XE policy detects potential vulnerable infrastructure devices with all versions of Cisco IOS and iOS XE software installed. This policy evaluates configured Cisco switches and wireless devices. The 50 latest Cisco iOS and iOS XE vulnerabilities with high or critical severity are presented. This policy template was released just this week, so it's hot off the press. I spent some time digging into the scripts and code behind it, and I have to say I'm impressed. Simplified, the policy performs 4 steps. First, it extracts iOS versions from the switches managed by CounterACT. Next, it performs some filtering on the results pulled from the database to present only the version number. Then, it calls a specific URL at cisco.com, passing the iOS version number into the URL. The results are all the Cisco advisories for that device, including their vulnerabilities. As you can see, there are numerous other vulnerability and response policies that detect and mitigate some nasty vulnerabilities. The plugin even has a policy for detecting WannaCry. I hope the security team at Boeing is watching my video. The security policy template plugin, which should really be named the Vulnerability Hunting and Protection plugin, provides immediate out-of-the-box value. Implement it and you'll look like a rock star. See you in my next video.